I'm going to take these. Oh, God, I don't have the words for it. For now, these characters, I'm going to call them characters, that I've decoded and fully created and played in field in the last 2 weeks or so. Whenever my breakup, okay? It's been more than 2 weeks. And they're packaged, they're done. And what I've been doing is I've been coming and giving you like 2 stories from that guy, 2 stories from the new guy. You know, go back like 3 stories, 3 characters back because somebody says something, right? But my notes are enormous right now. Enormous. Every night, every day, there's at least a lot. Okay, I don't know. I haven't counted. It's too much. But what I'm going to do, I haven't figured out. Well, yeah, here's what I came up with. Okay, first hear me out. I'm going to read you some of the stuff in this and leave you cliffhanging for a minute. So here, these are stories written, codes decoded, colors, smells, sounds, spells, everything. So I'm going to start with this one. This one is for when you stand at the edge of hesitation. Think about that for a second. And the world tries to pull you back, tell you to slow down, to be careful, to be nice. This is the fire that answers and burns all that noise. I'm going to start the story. I'm not going to give you the story. This is called the sin of the secondhand soul. They'll never say it out loud, but they want you to doubt. Isn't that already strong? Not because you're wrong. Not because you're right, and they know it. Your clarity cuts like a blade. Your confidence exposes their excuses. Your unapologetic existence is actually a threat to their secondhand souls. You know the ones. They parrot beliefs that they've never earned. You have to earn your beliefs, bro. You can't have a belief unless you earned it. I'm telling you. That's why nobody has a real belief. Right? You earn your belief. You believe in something because you know that nobody can take it away. They parrot beliefs they never earned. They chase approval like addicts chase poison. They live not to be, but to be seen. They wear borrowed morals, stolen dreams, and inherited fears. And they look at you with contempt, which is like bad feeling, negativity. They look at you with contempt because you don't have those things. You don't beg, you don't pretend, and most of all, you don't need them. And that, brother, is your sin in their secondhand soul's eyes, is that you are still sovereign and they're not. This is the beginning of the story. Okay? That story will do what it says. It'll burn the hesitation out of you. I'm going to move on. That's going to be one. There's more. Next one is for the beast who loves but never kneels. Be careful, everybody who's fallen in love from last night, to have you on your knees before you know it. For the man who gives without surrendering, who feels without losing clarity, who touches without becoming shackled. This is the flame of romantic egoism. Words you've never heard, I'm sure. A fire for the lover who knows to love another, I must first be whole. So here's the beginning of the story. called The Lover Who Would Not Die. They told you that love is sacrifice. I could just stop there. There's a story that'll get rid of that. That to prove it's real, you must bleed. This is all the false programming, everybody. To give until you're empty. Break yourself into smaller pieces just to fit. Lose yourself to find someone else. You heard them. You just didn't obey. Because deep down you knew something. A love that demands your extinction is not love. It's a leash and a curse. And you were born with fangs. And that starts the story. Next one. I'm going to tell you exactly what you're getting in this program. Next one is, this fire is not for the crowd. This is not for the weak, the cautious, or the halfway man. By the way, they build on each other, just so you know. They're literally a ladder as you climb and go to the next one. This is for the primal rebirth. For the day you kill what was left of the slave inside you. For the moment you stop asking what the world wants and start taking what's yours. This is the fire of becoming ungovernable. Right? Ungovernable. Let's start the story. The story is called The Last Time You Were Tame. There was a time, maybe you forgot, when you still asked, is it okay if I speak like this? Is it too much if I move like that? What will they think if I want more? What if I burn hotter? What if I walk without explaining myself? That was the last time you were tame. You didn't break out. You burned out everything that wasn't yours. End of that story for now. Next. We go from that to the fire of war. Not the kind with guns and borders, but the kind inside a man. The kind where weakness is the enemy. Where fear must be hunted. Where you wake every day ready to conquer or be conquered. This is the war fire of the beast. Okay? And the story is called The War That Never Ends. There's a war that they don't speak of. No medals, no cheering crowds, no headlines. Just you against a voice inside that says, rest, you've done enough. Take the easy path. Be softer today. That voice is the enemy. It doesn't wear a uniform. It lives inside your own breath. It speaks with your voice. It uses your memories like poisoned blades on your soul. Every day you wake up, the battlefield resets. And you have two choices. Lead the charge, or today die slowly again. That's that story. Moving on, there's more. This is called the smile before the kill. They build on each other. Then hear this, beast. This flame doesn't flicker. This flame doesn't flicker. It stalks, it waits, and it strikes. This isn't petty vengeance on somebody. This is a sacred retribution. When the world thinks you've fallen, when they mock your silence, when they laugh before they see your shadow return, this is the fire of revenge, not from pain, but from power. They thought you were done. Thought the silence meant defeat. Thought the absence meant retreat. They didn't see the stillness for what it was. Calculating, measuring, becoming even more dangerous. You didn't scream. You didn't post. You didn't cry to the crowd. You trained. You trained the beast. Next story. This is the crown she earned. So this builds your character, your beast, to a certain point, and then you face her. And this is when you face her. This isn't for playboys. It's not for lost boys chasing attention. It's for the king who chooses a woman and turns her into a queen. Not because he needs her, but because she's worthy of his world. That's what was happening last night. Kept telling her, then she's not the one. That we can just remain friends and she can go. Right? Because I wasn't going to compromise my standards. And you'll see if we get into it. This is the fire of devotion, beast style. You don't chase, you select. Because a man like you, a man who's built himself from scars and silence and training, who's earned his name in fire and blood, Apex, Shadow Sage, Great Dane, earn it in blood and scars. Fire and blood. A beast like this doesn't love by accident. He loves by standards. End of that story. Nice, right? You ask how I have so many women. This is a spell, and I'll give you the whole thing. But I won't give you all of it right now. But once you understand the structure of this, you'll have, you could say, the cells to create an answer to why do you have so many women. Okay, it sounds like this. You ask how I have so many beautiful women. Because they're not mine. They are themselves. And yet, they all find themselves orbiting around the same sun. Because when a woman meets me, the beast, insert your name here. Mine says Apex, okay? Because when a woman meets Apex, she realizes one man can give her everything that she needs. Safety without softness. Dominance without destruction. Love without weakness. Mystery without confusion. Each woman in my life plays her role perfectly because I never asked her to be anything. I simply allowed her to become what she already was. I'll stop right there. You'll have the language to speak 1,000 ways about why so many women. Then comes the final ritualistic suicide. To kill oneself. Like to really, the identity should be torn to shreds by the time you get here. Whatever is blocking the beast from moving, right? So this is, I'll start it. It's called Book 1, The Rite of Fire, The Death of the Past. Okay, and I just started, it's very powerful. This was one of the final fucking pieces to finish off the guy over there. Then take the blade. This is the most sacred severing. When you sever something and cut it. Not of people, not of enemies, but of the past versions of self. The boy who hoped. The man who waited. The soul that once softened for love. The mantra you'll get in this is, I have outlived the versions of me that could be hurt. I have outgrown the graves I used to pray at. Let the past die. I only speak to gods now. And that starts a whole thing. Okay? Okay. We jump from there. I'm going to stop it there and cut the program shorter. I'm going to tell you how I was going to do this. Now, we're going to work out the math together because I've never done this before, right? And I'm not a communist. And you'll see why I say that, okay? But there's something in this for me. So I was going to put more, and I was going to sell the whole thing for $10,000. I didn't care how you came up with it. 100,000 people could put $1 in 50 cents, right? I was going to say, a group of you get together, come up with that any way you can, and let me deliver this to you. You get it? You release it by paying for it. You unlock it, right? With enough coins in the video game? Yeah. But I stopped it there because what I gave you was the death of the beast. That what I was going to add to it that would have made it 10,000 was going to be, I'll give you a future because I'm just going to cut it in half. But this is what would have been on it. If we get through this and this works, then how about this? Forbidden Seduction Scripts. Remember I told you I was doing language patterns, right? And I have them in these. I'm going to give them to you exactly. I have the actual words. I've given you some of the words. You just haven't known where to put them. Okay? These are the phases. Okay? Phase 1 is called the early phase of seduction. This is all the mystery method in seduction. Phase 1 is called the early phase, and this is the spark that she can't shake. You start with a spark she can't shake. Okay? Use in person or voice message early in your connection. And I'll give you scripts. For example, the moment when I looked at you and your body answered before your mouth had a chance, it's not chemistry, it's older than that. Okay? And the whole thing goes together, but you can break them up. So first phase is called the early phase of seduction. It's a spark that you can't deny. It goes to the second phase, it's called the mid phase. The mid phase is the pool she can't explain. First, there's a spark she can't deny. As she gets engaged, there's a pull she can't explain. Why can't I leave? Why do I keep coming back? Use in voice message or whisper when things are heating up and tension is rising. There's a script for that. Phase 3 is called the deep phase. Okay? So you start with the first one, which is the beginning, original phase is a spark. Then you got the mid phase, which is a pull she can't explain. Then you go to number 3, deep phase, is the possession in seduction without a cage. Used during intimacy or in a raw, late night voice message that feels like a velvet ghost. Stage 4 is long distance when you're not there. And it's called the voice that stays. Send this in a low tone voice message, late night or unexpectedly. Phase 5. It's the cold or testing phase. She's going to go cold and test you right around here. All my relationships. And it's called the frame that cannot be broken. Use when she withdraws, goes cold, or tests with indifference. She doesn't care what you think. This is a script for that. Phase 6 is after she submits. The hook of devotion. Use after a deep, intimate moment, physical or emotional, delivered softly and slowly. For example, don't try to understand it, just let yourself feel it. This, what we have just created, it didn't come from effort, it came from truth. Starts like that. Okay? And those are the 6 phases of the seduction script. From that, I was going to add for you guys the Forbidden Flame Spellbook. Micro seductions, trance triggers, and dominance droplets. This script, a part of it was given and chosen for. These are the words like still, closer, later, mine, blah, blah, blah. But that's a part of something. From there, I was going to give you the stages that we had and how to trigger them. Like the mystery method, you have an opener, whatever. So stage 1, we talked about, is the unspoken seduction, and it's called the signal. You have to learn how to signal. The genetic signal that goes out that tells everybody what's happening. 2 is the spark, and it's called minimal engagement. We've already been through these phases, okay? Minimal engagement. Create erotic tension through subtle polarity and mystery. Stage 3 is the slow burn. Tension calibration. Begin claiming her nervous system while keeping emotional distance. Stage 4 is the withdrawal, creating craving. Collapse her frame by creating a void only you can fill. Stage 5, the return, the seduction ritual. Begin sensual or sexual escalation. She's now emotionally open. You've seen me do all this out there. Stage 6, the claiming, intimacy as imprint. Make the physical feel spiritual. She's not just touched, she is branded. Stage 7 is the echo, possession without chains. Leave a permanent mark. She never forgets you, even if you disappear. And there's one more after that. The next part of that would be the scents you wear, smells, your style, and your symbolism on your character. Look like myth, smell like prophecy, move like a ghost of her obsession. Okay? And this goes over the Forbidden Flame scent ritual, the Forbidden Flame style, dress like a living sigil, and symbolism. Okay? The marks of the flame. You're not just dressed, you are marked. I'm going to give you the code of decoding your beast into the symbols, the scents, and the dress that it has. Okay? And all this you've been watching. And I was going to put all that for 10, but I'm not going to do that. So that will be the second route if we make it. So, Yogi Chris, you're going to be in charge of this. Okay? There's not going to be a percentage on this because I'm going to need the money. And but you are going to get it by being in it. So it's going to be $5,000 to release this. Now, what if someone pays $1? You guys have to come up with some way to do this. Otherwise, fuck it. Right? It was just an idea that I had. Because I have so many compiling, right? And to get it out righteously, how do I do that without jumping around and shit? And you're never going to be able to catch me unless you climb the ladder. This is the ladder of me coming out of my fucking breakup and to where I'm at. Okay? And now where I'm at is I'm not even in it. The breakup doesn't even register. Okay? So 5K, the moment it's there, we get in class, I just read it straight to you. You have it. It's a code. And I'll give you it all. Okay? And I'll tell you that's iPhone 3 and I'm probably on iPhone 7 right now. Okay?